Minnesota Vikings are currently last in the NFC North Division with a 4-5 record, but it's not all doom and gloom if you are a Vikings fan. This division is still close. The Lions, they lead the way with a 6-3 record. 2 weeks ago, Minnesota defeated this team. Then you have the Bears. They also have a 6-3 record with Caleb Williams. Let's not forget, in week 1, the Minnesota Vikings defeated them. And the reason why the Lions lead this division and the Bears don't, the Lions defeated the Bears early on this year as well in week 2. Then you have the Green Bay Packers in third place, 5-3-1. And here's the thing about Green Bay. That offense is very inconsistent right now with Jordan Love, and they are going to miss their star tight end for the rest of the season, and Tucker Kraft. They may take a step back. But in order for the Minnesota Vikings to capitalize on how close this division is, they need J.J. McCarthy to be better, and they need him to be more consistent moving forward. Now, if you compare the Minnesota Vikings right now to last year with Sam Darnold, it's night and day. The Minnesota Vikings were one of the best teams in the NFL last season until they ran to the Los Angeles Rams in the postseason. But here's the thing. It is unfair to compare JJ to Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold is a veteran quarterback who is playing very well right now in Seattle. He got drafted by the Jets in the first round. Then they traded him to the Carolina Panthers. Spent years with the Panthers. Became a backup quarterback with the 49ers. And that was a very important year in his career because he never got to sit back and learn from anyone. Every single situation up to this point, he was a starting quarterback. Then he comes over to the Minnesota Vikings. So he had those repetitions with him throughout his career. He got to work with a great coach in Kyle Shanahan, and that carried over to the Minnesota Vikings. And you look at the work that Kirk Cousins did with Minnesota. He wasn't a young quarterback. He was a veteran coming over from the Washington Commanders, then Washington Redskins. But you drafted JJ in the first round so he could sit back and develop for at least an entire season or just for a couple of games if Sam Darnold wasn't the guy. No one saw Sam Darnold going out there and having the year that he had last season. What's unfortunate here, and this doesn't get talked about enough, JJ did not have your typical rookie season. He tore his meniscus in the preseason. He was ruled out for the remainder of the regular season. He could not take second team reps. He could not take potential first team reps either. He was on the sideline, rehabbing from that knee injury with a tablet in his hand. Sure, he got to sit back and watch things go on. But when you get those reps in practice, it's important to work out with those players and potentially work out with Justin Jefferson behind the scenes, and the same with Jordan Addison. So his entire rookie season, he's rehabbing. He wasn't going to start anyway with the way that Sam Darnold was playing last year. But you bring it over to this season. The first 3 quarters against the Bears, he did not look good at all. But in the fourth quarter, he looked better. He had a pick 6 in this game, but he finished 13-20, 143 passing yards, 2 passing touchdowns, 1 interception. But he had 1 rushing touchdown, which was amazing late in the fourth quarter. When you needed him the most, here comes J.J. McCarthy. And we saw the connection grow over time with him and Justin Jefferson in that game. Still no Jordan Addison. He was suspended. You had Adam Thielen, but he hasn't done much with the Minnesota Vikings. That seems like a bad trade right now for Minnesota. It seemed like Carolina won that trade. But it's his first game. You win the game, and how he performed in the fourth quarter, you need that moving forward. Now, the next week against the Atlanta Falcons was terrible. He was 11-21, 158 passing yards, 0 passing touchdowns, 2 interceptions, only 25 rushing yards, but he goes down with that high ankle sprain, and he's missed a lot of time this season. Now, I said early on in the year, J.J. McCarthy may be injury prone, and I think that's fair to say. He's dealing with a hand injury right now, not a major injury, but it's something to look out for. You missed all last season with a meniscus injury, and now you're dealing with a high ankle sprain, and he's missed a lot of time this year. So once again, he's not getting those reps. He's not practicing fully with that ankle injury. All those reps went to Carson Wentz. And this offensive line was abysmal due to injuries. With Ryan Kelly missing time with a concussion, I'm worried about him. He's expected to come back within the next couple of weeks, but he suffered concussions before with the Indianapolis Colts. And then you had the situation with Christian, who suffered a brutal leg injury last year against the Los Angeles Rams. So the entire offensive line wasn't the same, even though you have good pieces when they're fully healthy. But you have this young quarterback that is trying to adjust on the fly. It is hard to win games in this league, especially for a quarterback that was not asked to do much at the college level. When you look at Caleb Williams with USC, he was the main engine of their offense. The same with Michael Penix Jr. in Washington. The same with Bo Nix in Oregon, even though he had a bunch of talent around him. With JJ in Michigan, it's a different situation. He had Coach Harbaugh. They ran the football a good amount, and they played great defense with Aiden Hutchinson and crew. And he worked off of play action. The only time they needed JJ to be Superman was on third down if it was third and long. And here comes JJ McCarthy. So he wasn't in the same conversation with those other quarterbacks at the college level. I still like JJ, but I didn't have him being this top pick. So to ask him to come into the NFL, dealing with all those injuries, and for him to be a top guy was very unrealistic. And I still think that he's had a lot of good moments, like how he had the fourth quarter against the Bears in week 1, against the Detroit Lions, his first game back from the ankle injury. You win this game 27-24. JJ 14-25, 143 passing yards, 2 passing touchdowns, 1 interception. He still got sacked 5 times. That's too much. And he had a rushing touchdown. A very good game for JJ. Did he miss some throws? Yes, he did. But he worked well within the structure when he had to, and he got outside the pocket when he needed to. You had certain situations to where he was doing too much. You wanted him to dial that back. But once again, he's a young quarterback. Now, against the Ravens here, on paper, you may say this was a terrible game. He was 20 of 42, 248 passing yards, 1 passing touchdown, 2 interceptions. Here's the thing. If you paid attention to this game, and Justin Jefferson is one of my favorite players, he gave up in this matchup. The effort was not there. He gave up on a route that went for an interception. And some of the routes he just slowed down on. He just gave up on because he felt like JJ just couldn't hit him. You can't do that as a veteran wide receiver. You have to step up in those moments, and you have to go out there and basically encourage your young quarterback. And he did that in week 1. I still don't think Justin Jefferson is on the same page with being a diva like A.J. Brown, but you don't want to see that out of your wide receiver. Another thing that isn't being talked about enough with J.J. McCarthy is the play calling with Kevin O'Connell. I love Kevin O'Connell as a head coach. He's a QB whisperer to me. With the work that he did with Kirk Cousins, got the most out of him. What he just did with Sam Darnold. Tremendous concepts, tremendous routes, great play calling last season. But he also had moments that made you say, it's 3rd and 1. Just run the football. You have the offensive line pieces. Just run it. QB sneak. Why are you aiming to throw the football 15 to 20 yards down the field? And that is what happened against the Baltimore Ravens here. You have this young quarterback that is struggling with his accuracy. Drive in and drive out. It's 3rd and 1. Just run the football up the middle with Aaron Jones. Run the football up the middle with Jordan Mason. QB sneak it with JJ. Run an option play with JJ and his athleticism. Part of the reason why Kevin O'Connell really wanted to bring him in was because of his athleticism. He didn't have that with Kirk Cousins. Sam Darnold is a solid athlete, but you're not going to run him around in the open field. You can do that with JJ, and I'm not saying that JJ is on the same level as Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen in the open field. But look at what he did against the Bears. It opens up the offense here with Kevin O'Connell. Just be more run focused on 3rd down. Just focus more on the run game. But he didn't do that against the Ravens. JJ had a bunch of passes that should have been completions that he just missed with his accuracy. But Kevin O'Connell deserves blame. And the same with this offensive line. You cannot have 6 false starts and have a veteran offensive line. They need to be held accountable. You have JJ making adjustments on the offensive line. Linemen are moving. And they did some of this last year with Sam Darnold. I believe that this will be an off year for the Minnesota Vikings. I don't have them winning this division unless JJ takes a major step over the next couple of months. But I don't see that happening. As long as JJ can be your guy long term, it's worth it. But if he's not your guy long term, everyone's going to look at Kevin O'Connell a certain way, and the same with the general manager and this front office. But right now, it's too soon to call JJ a bust. It's too soon to say this situation is not going to work. JJ will get Kevin O'Connell fired. I think right now you have this young quarterback. Use him as a game manager. You have the weapons on the outside with Jordan Addison, Justin Jefferson, TJ at the tight end position, even Adam Thielen. But you invested so much money in just resources in general in the offensive line this offseason. You drafted Donovan Jackson in the first round. You have Christian, one of the best left tackles in the game. You have Will Fries at the right guard position, Brian O'Neill. When Ryan Kelly comes back, I imagine that they'll be more focused on the run in the interior. But even without Ryan Kelly, you should still be more focused on the run in the interior behind Donovan Jackson, and the same with Will Fries. I know that Michael Juergens is not the ideal center to have right now, but coach around that. Kevin O'Connell has done this before. I don't understand this infatuation with trying to make JJ go out there and be the next Sam Darnold, make him try to be the next Kirk Cousins. He is not ready for that. One day he may be better than both of those guys, but it's not right now. And all these young quarterbacks are struggling. Early on, Caleb Williams, he had his struggles. He's performing better right now. Michael Penix Jr., he's having his struggles as well. The same with Bo Nix. I'm not calling any of these quarterbacks bust. But the one thing that stands out with JJ, you may make the case that he was drafted into the best situation. I know a lot of people said that about Caleb Williams, first overall pick, best situation. He had Matt Eberflus as a head coach. Don't want to hear it. And a terrible offensive line. The case here with JJ, he got to sit back behind Sam Darnold for an entire year. Unfortunately, he went down with an injury. You have a phenomenal head coach in Kevin O'Connell, who has been proven with Kirk Cousins, and the same with Sam Darnold. You have these offensive line pieces right now because you're still on your rookie contract. And you get to play with one of the best receivers in the game and Justin Jefferson. Jordan Addison, on most teams in the NFL, he's the number one wide receiver. He is tremendously talented. He just stands in his own way with things off the field. And we haven't heard about any of those things over the last couple of weeks. And TJ is a very good receiving tight end. Hasn't been the same since he tore his ACL, but he's a good player. You have Aaron Jones, veteran running back. He deals with injuries, but he's still solid. You have Jordan Mason, who's added juice to this backfield. So his situation is a little more different compared to everyone else that went in the first round. Bo Nix went to a situation with the Denver Broncos. They couldn't do much because of the Russell Wilson contract to put talent around him. Michael Penix Jr., drafted in the first round, not a terrible situation, but he has Raheem Morris as his head coach. He gets to play alongside Bijan Robinson and Drake London. All of these quarterbacks that win the first round in that year's draft class, they have talent around them. But JJ may have the most talent. So he has to step up and he has to be the guy. But I'm not going to come on here and say he's a bust, get rid of him. The experiment is dead. He needs to stay healthy. He needs to protect himself. He just needs to be better. He needs to clearly see the field. But Kevin O'Connell knew the gamble that he was taking selecting him in the first round. There's still a chance here for the Minnesota Vikings. But let me know in the comment section below, how do you feel about JJ McCarthy and the Minnesota Vikings? If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. If you like the video, hit the like button. Most importantly, I want each and every last one of you guys stay safe, stay positive. Thanks for the video, guys. God bless. Peace.